Hi, Rusty Schaefer here. I wanted to put out a video on my 10 tips and tricks to beginning to write your first book and to self-publish. It's a world unto itself. Writing is one thing, you're not done. You got a long way to go to navigate the whole self-publishing realm, but this video should help. Let's get started. Okay, tip number one. Do you use Word, Microsoft Word, or another word processing program, or Scivener? Scivener is the authoring software that a lot of people use. I was too far down the road. I'd done a lot of formatting already, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and so I stayed with Word. Scivener looks really cool. It's $49. It's got a 30-day free trial. I watched videos on it. If you're someone who takes notes, pulls in pictures, websites, all that kind of stuff, and you want to stay organized, it looks like Scivener does a really cool job of that. So you might want to check it out right at the beginning. I'm going to stay with Word. I don't do picture books. My novels, it's already formatted for what I need to do. I've already gone through that hassle. So right now I'll stay with Word, but it's Scivener or Word. Okay, step number two, the writing process. I write in more of a screenplay format. I just wanted to get dialogue down. So I had character, not names, but placeholders for my characters. I'd come back and do names later. I did names later. I wrote dialogue, what they said, what the next one said. I didn't worry about formatting it like a book would format it. I didn't worry about dialogue tags. I didn't worry about any of that. That seemed to help me get the story down. I wrote the whole book that way. And then I went back and put it in that book format that has nice, beautiful dialogue tags and so forth. There are great videos out there. Vivian Reese is a great YouTuber that gives you a lot of tips on formatting once you get to that stage. So I will put her link in the description below. Tip number three, stay organized. I found this out after I was about 15 pages into the book. I started losing track of who was saying what from paragraph to paragraph, from different sections. I jump around in my books a lot like Tom Clancy writes or wrote. And so I created an outline in another Word document. I probably could have put it in the same Word document, it doesn't matter. And I color coded it with paragraphs, by paragraph, who was speaking. But each paragraph color-coded. And then in my main dialogue, the sort of screenplay version, I color-coded that as well. That way I could see if I had people talking too closely together, not too much space apart, what have you. So I had to do some organization. Colors help me. I think Scivener uses Post-it notes or something like that on a kind of a cork board outline. However you need to stay organized, especially to your timeline and to your characters and your characters evolving throughout your book. Okay, tip number four, formatting. Now here's where I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Again, Vivian Reese was super helpful. The formatting of headers and footers and page numbers and how you skip page numbers on the chapter pages, how to do drop caps, gutter margins, regular margins, header and footer margins, all that kind of stuff. When you're done with your story, when you're done with your dialogue, that's when you have to start worrying about all that, along with the way to format dialogue tags. Jenna Morici, her videos were super helpful with regards to dialogue tags. I learned a lot from her. You don't always have to have somebody attribute he said, she said, Joe said, Bill said. It gets old, right? If two people are talking, you don't always have to come back with the other person said, because there's only two people talking, right? It's kind of intimated that that other person is talking. Things like that. Go read your favorite novels. Go take a look at novels you like to read and pay attention to dialogue tags. Really can make a difference in your book. Okay, tip five, editing. Okay, this is interesting. Being an attorney, I thought I was a pretty good editor. I think the longest brief I'd ever written in my life was maybe 25, 30 pages. So double space, so it wasn't that big of a deal to edit. However, a 270-page paperback novel is a little different. You're so embedded with the story, with reading this over and over and over and over, that it's really tough for all of a sudden your brain to see errors, to see when something goes from third person to first person, believe it or not, plurals, comma usage, numbers. My daughter started to help me format. She's 19 and in college. She picked up a lot of errors, and then I started to wonder, well, that's great, but what is she missing? So I found a friend of a friend who actually was an editor, had worked at a publishing house. I highly recommend you do professional editing. Now, you can find editors online. They range anywhere from $300 to $2,000, depending upon their experience and the level of editing you want done. I didn't have editing for content. I had editing for grammar, punctuation, all that kind of stuff, including first person, third person, maybe word order, word usage. That's what I needed help with. Because again, in the process of getting my dialogue down and my story down, I just spit it out. And so though I went back and I tried to edit, you just don't catch everything. So Jenna Marici, again, her videos, she was the one who convinced me, finally, get a professional editor. You're putting a product out there. You want to be proud of it. You don't want to have stupid errors because everybody else is checking their product. So have an editor do your checking. It's worth it. Tip number 6, ISBN and LCCN. What the heck is that? An ISBN, International Standard Book Number, is like a SKU number is for a product, right? You buy something on Amazon, it's got a SKU. Well, books have ISBN numbers. You go to Bowker, BOWKER.com in the United States to buy your ISBN numbers. They sell them as a pack of 10. They'll also sell you the barcodes, which you're going to need when it's time to do your cover. You're going to have to send the barcode, which includes your ISBN and the price of your book. You'll send that to your cover designer, and I'll cover that in a few minutes. But an ISBN is important. Super simple. Bowker's a simple website. Go pay for the ISBNs. You don't need to buy 10 barcodes right now. Don't need to buy any barcodes until you're ready to send that to a cover designer. Okay, LCCN, what's that? My wife uses the Libby app to rent books from the library and read. She asked me, how does your book get to libraries? I said, I don't know. Let's find out. So you have to have a Library of Congress control number, and you apply for that. It's free. You apply for that. It takes a couple of days. Just go out there on Google and search LCCN or Library of Congress control number. You'll fill out your name and you'll put that in there. A couple of days later, you'll get your LCCN number. That number has to be in your copyright info, or at least you have to have one, in order for libraries to order a copy of your book and catalog it. That's how it gets into libraries. So you need an ISBN and an LCCN. Now's the time to do that. Tip number 7. Ready for the cover, right? Wrong. Ingram Book Calculator. What the heck is that? Well, you might have a cover idea, or you might be ready to get your cover done, but you don't know, or the graphic artist doesn't know, the thickness of your book, the spine dimension. How do you calculate the spine dimension? Ingram Spark, who's one of the big distributors, has a great resource. I put the link down below, called the Ingram Book Calculator. You put in your information, your ISBN, all of that. You put in the number of pages of your book, so this is when you're finished. It will spit out the spine dimension. I would take a screenshot if I were you, and that's one of the things you're going to give to your graphic artist. Okay, so you're going to need one for your paperback, and you're going to need one for your hardcover if you do that. Right? Different dimensions, different numbers of pages, different spine dimension. So the Ingram Book Calculator, that's what you want to give to your graphic artist. Link is down below. Okay, tip number 8. Now it's the time for the cover. Okay, so where do I go to get a cover done? You don't need it. Maybe you don't know a graphic artist. Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Link is down below. Great website. You can find hundreds of graphic designers that have done books. You'll find reviews on them. You'll find their pricing. You'll find where they are. I found a great gal in the UK who I've never talked to, who I've only exchanged emails with, and she designed an amazing cover. You can see it right here. I'm just so thrilled with my cover. Now, what you want to provide her and what she asked for was, of course, your title, your name, your book description, a picture of yourself if you want a picture on the back. You want to provide that screenshot. I'd provide the screenshot of the Ingram book calculator. It just don't put that in an email. Just provide the screenshot. And then the barcode. Remember, you're going to go back to Bowker and you're going to have to get 2 barcodes, right, at this point, because you're going to want to design the paperback and the hardback. If you're doing the hardback, do them at the same time. Okay, both of those you'll need the spine for. All right. You might also want to go to KDP. They have a resource that will calculate the spine. It should be the same spine as the Ingram, but you just want to make sure, because I publish with both Ingram and KDP, and I'll get to that in a few minutes. But that's what you want to provide your cover artist. Can you believe I did this cover for under $100? That's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. So again, it was a wonderful cover. She asked me to go to a stock photo site and pick out a couple of photos that maybe were representative of my story or the idea or the book or what have you. And I did that. I didn't want to give her too much though. Again, I think I've learned over the years, especially with graphic artists, you can give them too much and then they'll give you what exactly you want, and that might not be the best thing for your design, whatever you're designing, especially a book. So I just wanted to give her a couple of photos, and then I just gave her, she took the description and she came up with the cover, and I loved it. I loved her interpretation. If you don't like it, you reject it. You ask for another design. You choose somebody else. They have, all these graphic artists and book designers on Fiverr have examples of their covers. So shout out to Victoria Davies. She's the one who did my cover. You'll see her page right here on Fiverr. And she was great. Choose her, don't choose her, but read reviews. How many books have they done? What's their price? What is their policy on revisions? So forth. You'll get a great cover, promise you. Okay, step 9, or tip 9, not step 9, tip 9. Tip 9 is about creating your ebook formatting. Okay, how do you do that? Word doesn't convert into ebook. So what was I to do? Well, I looked at a bunch of videos out there. Everybody said Vellum software. Great, let's get it. Vellum software, I went to Vellum software page, only for the Mac. I'm on a PC. Okay, that was a bummer. I just got done doing a video on this, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but the good news is that PC users can use Vellum. You use it by having a remote Apple desktop, paying for that, called Mac in Cloud. You pay for 30 bucks, gets you 30 hours. You open up a remote desktop, a cloud desktop on your PC, looks just like a Mac, looks like the Mac's desktop. You use Dropbox to move your files to and from your PC to your remote desktop. You then format your manuscript in ebook format. You generate the files. I generated the EPUB files along with the Kindle files, because you'll need those if you do KDP. And it was easy. Dropbox back to the PC and I'm golden. So I probably have 25 or 26 hours left on my remote desktop. I bought Vellum. I use Vellum only for the ebook. It does print as well. I chose just ebook because, again, remember, I was farther down the road with Word. I had already spent the effort formatting that, so I just needed the ebook of Vellum. And it was great. Super simple, great. PC users can use Vellum. Just remember that. Okay, tip 10. How do we publish? So the two biggies out there are Ingram Spark and KDP. KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. That's Amazon. You want to publish on KDP. You have two choices: worldwide, expanded distribution, or just Amazon. I watched a lot of videos, and I want to give a special thanks to Amanda Rosen and MK Williams, who have a ton of videos on the differences, using them together, so forth. KDP is just for Amazon. When Amazon has a paperback, you want them to fulfill an order from an Amazon warehouse. You don't want them to say, oh gosh, we're out of stock. It might be 60 days because we have to order from Ingram. You don't want that. You want them to say, absolutely, it comes from our Amazon warehouse, okay, with paperback. You're going to need to do it for Kindle anyways, right? You're going to need to generate those Kindle files, and you're going to also want it, those files for Kindle. You can do KDP, and you can do just Amazon. So you got your paper book in Amazon, and you've got your ebook on Kindle. Amazon doesn't do hardcover books. Ingram Spark does everything else. Ebook through EPUB files, your paperback worldwide, and your hardcover worldwide. And they'll put it in bookstores. So you'll go to Barnes & Noble, you'll get in all kinds of bookstores. iBooks, you'll get everywhere. One of the reasons to do Ingram Spark is that bookstores, the ones that are still alive out there, like Barnes & Noble, kind of hate Amazon, right? I mean, Amazon was kind of their downfall for a while till they got going with ebooks, and there's a bit of a resurgence now in reading print books, but so they won't buy from Amazon. Barnes & Noble, if your book is at Amazon, they won't buy it from them to put it on their shelves, but they'll buy it from Ingram Spark. So I used those two, Ingram Spark and KDP. Remember, KDP was just Amazon paperback and just Kindle ebook. Ingram Spark is everywhere else. Now there's other ones out there. I am still trying to figure this out. There's Draft to Digital, there's Smashwords, there's all kinds of stuff. At this point, I just published in the last couple days here. I'm gonna let things kind of settle out because I don't want to publish with somebody else and have that step on the toes of Ingram, and then all of a sudden there's confusion, and it's probably hard enough for me to know what's going on when somebody's distributing worldwide anyways. So I'm going to stay with those two. Now I probably will do a part 2 of this video. Like I said, I just uploaded the files. I'm on Amazon. I'm live with Trial Run, this book right here. I'm live on Amazon. I'm live on Barnes & Noble. I don't know if I'm live in libraries yet. This is going to take a few weeks to propagate through the system and the catalogs and the ordering process. And this is all new to me. So I probably will do a video in another month once I have some feedback and maybe even some purchases of my book. But big shout out to the people that have helped with their YouTube videos. All their links are down below. If you have any questions or comments, I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know what's going on, if I can be helpful to you, if I can answer any questions. Otherwise, good luck, and I really hope this video helped. Thanks.